Did you see what I do? Something very effective with the pillows. Instead of spending years in the gym, I'm just pulling that there.
There you go. Okay. That's a nice shortcut. There you go. That's going to be my new ebook.
You can just throw off all of the pillows and just declare yourself in your finery and as you are.
That's my training plan. Hey guys, sign up for my program. I'll tell you how to move the pillow closer to you when you're sitting down.
You're not as expert as me. I am the queen.
Theresa wrote the book.
Of taking off a stone either side with a pillow. But listen, it's lovely to see you today.
Yeah, no, thanks so much for having me.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I know you were in the gym this morning. I want to know, first of all, what did you have for breakfast?
Okay, I had egg whites and lean steak mince and a bit of hot sauce.
Egg whites with lean steak mince in the egg
whites. Mix all like scrambled together.
Sauce.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It sounds random, but it's actually really tasty.
And the hot sauce is probably would be great for metabolism, wouldn't it? Getting it all.
Kind of. Yeah, I wouldn't bank on the hot sauce to change your whole metabolism.
Darn.
I mainly have it for flavour.
I'm just thinking of myself.
Everyone's looking for that little secret. It's like, the hot sauce. It's like still gonna have to work hard.
Or the chili flakes. That's no use, is it? To me,
it's good. They're nutritious. They're a good thing to add, but they're not going to be a game changer.
Were you always a clean eater and interested in nutrition and eating well?
Oh wait, are we the podcast going now?
I think so.
Okay, sweet. All right, we're cracking. Right. So yes and no. I always ate to fuel myself. I played sports since I was really young, and so I was always into get my protein in, plenty of nutrients. But that said, I love food. Like I love eating out.
Yes,
I love pizza. I love pasta, and I enjoy it to the utmost. But here and there, in moderation, of course. You've probably heard that before.
Yeah.
But I do love healthy food. Like I'll eat out for a salad and I'll love it, and then I'll also love a pizza. So
But also, if you're working out to the extent that you do, you can eat all of that stuff.
I wouldn't say all of it. You can definitely get away with more, but you're still going to have to be quite regimented with your diet. Like when I'm getting photo shoot ready, I'm keeping a food diary and weighing out my food, which is most people would look at that like you're insane. You're crazy.
People don't realise how much they're eating though. I mean, a food diary is brilliant because you actually look at the end of the day. I actually did have 4 protein bars. I'm supposed to have 1.
It is eye-opening, and it's like really a game changer. Whenever I'm working with a client, that's usually the biggest eye-opener. And there's this TV series called Secret Eaters, okay? Look it up on YouTube. They have full episodes on YouTube, right? And it's like a study in itself. So they follow these people around with 24/7 with cameras. They don't know they're being followed, okay? And they're asked to keep a food diary. And these people are, they're overweight.
Yes.
And so they claim they're eating 2,000 calories a day. They're eating 6,000.
God.
And it's like you see it, and they show them at the end of the episode, and they're oblivious to it. So it's even if you're keeping a food diary, it's still, some people just don't even think about it.
It's like
it's
an
really
amnesia.
Interesting show.
It's like amnesia, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where you actually forget what you're eating because it's mindless eating, isn't it?
There's actually a book called Mindless Eating.
Oh God.
I forget who it's by. I flicked through it, but there's a whole book on mindless eating.
As opposed to mindful.
Yeah, it's mindless. It's literally the opposite, yeah. And when we're dieting down, this is actually it's an interesting fact. When we're dieting down, we're getting super lean, real ripped. Our brain sees us as starving, and so it'll switch off a little bit, and without even realizing it, you'll eat more. So when you're dieting, your appetite goes up and you'll actually eat more without even realizing it.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I read an article where the writer said that looking at your videos, she fell into this rabbit hole, and it was many hours later that she emerged. She got so engrossed with all of the stuff that you're posting and all of the videos, and I completely understand that. I had that myself this week, and I think I've seen everything you've done, and I mean, that sounds like a big statement, but there was one in particular that I really enjoyed and was engrossed with, and that was how you made your first €100,000 on social media. So can you give us a synopsis of how you did that?
Absolutely. So the first thing I did was, right, okay, you gotta break it down, right? If you're coming up with a business plan, you just need to solve a problem that's presented to you every single day. Okay, it's that simple, right? Where there's a demand, you just got to create that supply, okay? So people were coming to me every day. I was blogging on Facebook, not even YouTube and Instagram. I was writing all these Facebook articles, posting my progress, and people were like, hey, can you do me a plan? I want to get in shape. And I would do them all for free. I'd be like, sure, yeah, absolutely. I'll email you this to say you train, these are some food guidelines and stuff. Yeah. They'd come back to me, ripped, really good results, amazing before and afters. Gosh. Or even like young guys who wanted to put on weight, all getting these killer results. And then I was like, boom, there's a business. I'm going to start, charging for that. So then online coaching, I started doing that because I'm a qualified personal trainer as well. And then I started writing ebooks. I started selling, I started making Lipsett fitness clothing, imported it to Ireland. I was shipping it all out myself, packaging it. You should see my spare room was just full of boxes. I was doing everything I could to do with fitness and YouTube, affiliate marketing, sponsorships,
How did you know how to do all of this?
It's all pretty much self-taught. So I was in, I studied business management for a little bit, so a business course. And I dropped out, wasn't able for it. And so then I was like, if I really want to learn about something, I'll go learn about it myself.
Yeah.
And I think that applies for a lot of people. Some people, they're like, oh, I hate the course I'm doing. And I'm like, maybe you should do a course you really like then. So then you won't even have to, or do a job you love. So it's you won't even have to think about going in. You'll love Monday morning. So I was like, okay, what am I into? I'm so into fitness. I'm so into social media. I'm so into marketing. So I started paying for marketing courses online. Started paying for video webinars to teach myself about viral marketing on YouTube. And I'd be watching hours and hours of all these videos, teaching myself. And I'm basically in college. I'm in my own college. So I was learning about it all myself. And then, I was taking personal trainer courses. And all that. So
and you were studying business in college.
I was.
And you left it. You didn't do well in the exams.
No.
You got to the stage where, people use the word that I dropped out of college. I don't like that word. I thought it was very smart of you to get out of something that you absolutely hated. But the irony is you're a really good businessman.
Yeah. And that's why I'm not anti-college, but, I've just mixed feelings on it because nothing beats real world experience. But if you want to be a doctor, you want to be an accountant, you're going to have to go to college, of course.
But I think the
something
point is,
business is maybe you should get out into the real world.
Well, the other thing is that you're playing to your strengths, and you realised, I think, very early on that you loved nutrition, you loved fitness, you were passionate about that, and so that's what you did in the real world. You went out and you followed your strength. But getting back to it, this is the other side, and Rob, here, what we do is we look at somebody who's become very well known in their lives prior to the time that they became established. So I would think in your case, probably around 2016.
Yeah.
It's only a couple of years ago.
I know, it's
so
crazy.
much in such a short time. So let's go right back, and let's go back to, you were born in 1992 in Dublin. You were the youngest and the only boy of 4 siblings. First of all, what was that like?
That was, okay, if you want to know what that was they used to, Sarah, Avril and Roz, my 3 older sisters, they used to dress me up as a girl, tie me to a chair, and put makeup on me until I cried.
No.
So that's what it was like. So there's your first taste of it.
I have no lip gloss today. And
I was hoping you'd bring it. Oh my God. Podcast's over.
I could have asked you if I'd known that that's the way you were brought up.
My dress? But so it was a lot of fun. That sounds like a nightmare. It was a lot of fun for them, but we did all have the crack growing up, and it was
Were you spoiled? Were they mad about you?
Yeah, they did. And my mum was like, "I'm praying for a boy, can't do another girl. Please God, don't give me another girl." And then I came along. So very loving
that's
mother and
amazing.
parents,
I didn't expect that answer.
No one does.
You couldn't be further away from dresses and makeup for all.
Exactly. Yeah, and I was also a really picky eater as a child, and now I'll eat anything. Now I'll eat the most bland food you put in front of me.
And as a little boy, did you have an inkling at all about where you'd go in life and what you liked and what you would want to be when you grew up?
Not when I was so young. I was always hyper. I remember I was a hyper kid. I was always running around. I remember I'd sprint from one end of the house to the other non-stop. I don't know why. So I always had a lot of energy, I think. But who knows? You don't know what you want to be when you're that young. I only found a little bit of direction in my life when I was 21, 22.
Yeah, I mean, so many people don't know when they're filling in their CAO form actually what they want to do at all, and then they end up sometimes in a course that is a million miles away from where they really want to be. Which is why I admire you for deciding that's it. I'm getting out of here. Now, you could have, when you left the course, you could have, had your tail between your legs. You could have felt very down at heart, but you doubled down on your strengths. And when was that eureka moment when you realised social media is the place that I need to be?
Yeah, so back to the CEO thing, like
Yeah.
we're there trying to decide our future at 18 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
You're a kid. Like, can you even picture yourself when you're 18? Like, you're 18 years old and you just don't have a clue. Like, even you look at a picture of yourself when you're 18 and it's like, you're a child.
Absolutely.
It's like you don't know what's
Yeah.
going on. So, you know, it is a bit crazy to think of, like, but you got to decide at some stage, of course.
Yeah.
But so up until, like, you know, 22, that's when I started YouTube.
Yeah.
I really didn't know what I wanted. I had, you know, when I was in my teens, I always remember saying I wanted to like do something to do with events, which funny enough I do now. I wanted to own a nightclub or like, because I used to love going out, like obviously now I don't go out as much. And so I remember I always had that when I was younger. But when I left school, I really found a love for the gym and fitness and training.
Yeah.
And then, so that always continued through college. College fell through, but the love for fitness kept going. So around the age of 21, 22, I was like, this is what I'm going to double down on.
Okay, and you know, this. Some people will fancy themselves as social influencers. I mean, you're somebody now that has a following, I think, of a million people between Instagram and YouTube, which is just astounding. I mean, just thinking of those numbers is astounding. That this is really the population of Dublin. I'm wondering, actually, is it overwhelming at times thinking that there's that number of people that are following you and watching everything you do?
I try not to think about it too much. I try not to overthink it. But yeah, it is mind-blowing. Yeah.
I know. But you don't get that easily. You know, that's hard graft. So how hard did you have to work to get your numbers up when you first started on YouTube?
Yeah, so this is what people don't see. Like, they just see me now in the Maldives or whatever, and they're like, oh, it must be nice. You know, easy for some to say. And it's like, I've been doing this since 2014. Since 2014, I haven't gone 30 seconds without thinking of social media marketing, fitness, training, nutrition, self-development. I haven't gone 30 seconds without thinking that. Yeah. That's insane. Yeah. So it's like people see your chapter 10, but they don't see that chapter 1.
Like, you liked socializing, you wanted to have a nightclub and all that when you were younger than you are. But I would have thought that all of that kind of socializing was out the window with the kind of work that you needed to do to get the figures that you have got.
Yeah, so I remember when I first started YouTube, I'll always remember the date, September 1st, 2014, that's when my first YouTube video went up. So from then up until 2016, I didn't go out. I rarely went out because I just didn't have the time. I didn't have the time to be, hungover. I'd work all through the weekends. Even now, I do that, but I can afford, I'm better at delegating tasks, so I can afford a little bit more free time, working smarter. But 2014, 2015, 2016, when I was laying those foundations, no time for anything else apart from YouTube, creating content, and training myself.
And September 1st, 2014, that was your first video. What was that video? What did you say? What did you put up? What did you do in the video?
Yeah, so I remember this was, I had a Facebook page at the time, and I was like, I need to stand out, I need to do something different. I need to start creating video content. Yeah. And I was like, you ain't got a job lined up. College is out the window. What have you got to lose? Who cares if you're embarrassed? And I was, who's this fella from Dublin recording his day? But anyways, I just did it, right? Yeah. And so I picked up my iPhone 5, and I was like, what's up, everybody? Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is how I train every day. This is how I eat every day. And this is just my daily life. It was like half of it was me sitting on the couch with my cat. wasn't much happening back then. But so it was actually, the video is called Full Day of Eating and Training. And so that's what it was.
And that's still up?
That's still up. The first video is still there. I would never take it down. It's so dear to my heart.
Gosh.
It's so dear to my heart. Yeah, I love it. It's even crazy to look back on, yeah.
And so how long did it take you to build up the number of followers that you were in a position then to actually monetize it and to make a living out of it?
Yeah, so in 2014, when I was making my first ever YouTube videos, I was working full time in a startup company in an office, 9 to 6, Monday to Friday. So that's what I was doing full time. People think, oh, I'll just be a YouTuber or I'll be an Instagrammer or whatever. And it's like, no, like you can't just get it like that. If it was that easy, everyone would do
Absolutely.
it. So I was working full time for, you know, months when I was starting my channel. And I have this thing called the magic number theory, okay? Until your side gig makes more than your main gig, it's not safe to leave until that happens. So I was 9 to 6, go to work. I'd come home, you know, traffic, say hi to my family, be home at about 7, go to the gym. It's about 8 o'clock now. Get back again, it's 9, okay? Now I'm like, it's time for online coaching. It's time for packaging orders. It's time for recording videos. It's time for editing videos. It's time to prepare for the next day. All of a sudden, it's 3 a.m. Okay, I gotta be up in 3 hours and do it again. And so people don't see that, you know? And like, so you gotta work so hard at your side gig until it becomes your main gig. So yeah, I did that for many months. And that was like a very tough period in my life. But you got to do that. Like that's suffering.
Where did that determination come from? Because that's extraordinary determination after a full day's work to be working till the early hours on your second gig.
Yeah. I think I was just like, I didn't like my job, to be honest. And I was like, there's more to it.
Yes.
I was like, there's more to it. I was like, this isn't it now. For the rest, I was like, I'm gonna do just something a little bit out of the ordinary. So I was like, I'm gonna work, just do whatever I can until that happens.
The side gig took off, and then it did hugely. And I think you said somewhere that your parents didn't take this seriously and what you were doing seriously until you left home with a new car.
Yeah.
What was the car, and how did you feel?
It was an Audi A5, so it's quite a nice one. It was pretty old though, like, you know, so it wasn't that nice. But yeah, I moved out, and they're like, okay, you must be doing something right. And now they understand it fully, you know, they love it, they watch all my videos. But at the time, you know, they didn't understand it, and that's okay. And oftentimes, I say this to people looking to, like, you know, start their own business, your parents might not understand, so be considerate of that. Okay, it's a different generation. When I told them I was training people online, they're like, how are you doing that jumping jacks through a video on Skype? You know, they didn't get it. And I was like, no, you send them the plan via email and they check in with you. They didn't understand, and that's cool. So I was like, all right, you know, I always appreciate everything they've done, but I was like, I'm going to go out on my own.
And go out on your own and prove yourself. But
that's it. Actions speak louder than words.
You know, there's a saying, you know, you're a jack of all trades and master of none, but you're actually the jack of all trades and you are the master of all of them as well. I mean, your accomplishments are incredible. You're an author, you're a businessman, self-made businessman, you're the raw gyms you're involved in, you're a fitness model, you're a fitness guru. I mean, the list is endless. But of all of those accomplishments, what is the one that gives you the greatest satisfaction, that has given you, that makes you the happiest and that you feel most accomplished by?
Yeah, that would probably be the online community that I've built. So be it, you know, YouTube or Instagram, or just as a whole, just the community in general of people that watch my videos, you know, interact with my content online, that community. So the people, the LF army, that's what I call them, Lipsett Fitness Army, that's what I'm most proud of. And like, these aren't just numbers on a screen. These are people that, like, I'll meet at events, in expos, in real life, and they'll say the nicest things. They'll say, like, you know, you got me through a dark place. They'll be like, I started watching videos. I started making this change to my day. I started hitting the gym. People are like, I was obese and depressed, and watch your videos. I watched your video on how to do your own meal plan, how to, you know, your morning routine. They'll say the nicest things ever, and they're like, you changed my life. And that means more than anything.
Well, your life, I think we're all here to try and make a difference. And you are making a huge difference. I mean, I've been reading through the comments as well. You're inspiring people. They're changing their lives. You have this huge following. But the nature of online, any kind of online business at all is, and somebody who's making an impact, there's always going to be detractors and critics. So needless to say, there will be people that will criticize you and have done. Online, because people change online. They're very different when you see them in the flesh.
Warriors.
The keyboard warriors. How do you deal with that?
There's a weird part of me that likes it. There's a weird part of me that likes it. I kind of just sit back and laugh. I'm just like, all right, buddy, good on you. Thanks for the view. But no, on a serious note, so first of all, you do got to laugh at it.
Yeah.
And half the times, someone will leave like a comment that's slagging me off, and I'm like, that's actually quite funny. I'm like, he's kind of right. They're like, who's this cocky, annoying, obnoxious Irish kid? And I'm like, I am all those things. So half them I just laugh at it and, laugh along with it. Because it's also Irish humour that, we all slag each other off. So if you're going to put yourself online, you need to be able to take a joke.
Okay.
And so then, and if anyone does leave some like really bad stuff, I've nothing but sympathy there, because
something's going on there.
What's your life looking like if you have time in the day to watch like 30 minutes of someone else's video, make a fake account, form an opinion on it, leave like a horrible comment, post that online? Not only is that time consuming, but it's like, what are you doing?
I know.
What are you doing? Like, come on.
I think the first reaction is a brilliant one, because I'm thinking of the people that mightn't have the resilience that you do have, and that follow you, and that are inspired by you, and you have changed their lives. Think of the people that may not have as much self-esteem and who are really affected by the awful things that people say online.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great idea, to start laughing at it first of all, because it takes all the horribleness and the nastiness out of it, if you can do that. And secondly, block and delete.
Yeah,
Isn't that right?
yeah. Sometimes I just leave them there. I'm like, keep giving me those views, baby. I need that Google AdSense. But so like, I think laughing at it, having a good sense of humor is so important. And when you reach 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, you're actually sent a plaque and a letter from the CEO.
Really?
And in the letter, they talk about, how very few people can do that, and this and that. And they also say, to get to this stage, you need to have a good sense of humor. YouTube literally say that in their congratulations message. So like, they know that like everyone who's got a big following, you need to take things at pinch. So laugh at it.
Laugh at it.
Yeah.
So your message is a very, very positive one, and I know that you're very into positive affirmations and visualization and all that positivity. So and it's really important to you. Can you take me through your visualization process?
Absolutely. So I decide what I want. Okay, I'll set myself a goal, and it's almost like insane. I'll picture it in my head over and over again, like every 5 seconds, it's just happening. So for example, let's just pick one, the London event, the event I did in London. I pictured myself walking onto the stage, just walking on, and like the first few words I say, like I replayed that over and over and over again. Okay. And so if you think about something so often, odds are it's going to happen. Like, it's hard for it not to happen. So
is it a bit like The Secret and the universe, and putting it out to the universe?
For sure, yeah.
Being really positive and determined. It's a great way to live your life. So what did you do apart from this event in London? What other events or situations in life did you envisage that came true?
Yes, so you can even go back to like a few of my first ever videos. I'm sitting on that couch in a weird house, and I'm like, this channel will have 100,000 subscribers. I'm going to write, ebooks. I'm going to write books. I'm going to have my own booth at an expo. I'm saying all this as if it's already happened. And like, that's how you got to think. It's like, there's a fine line between, cocky and confidence. Yeah. Like, I think, don't get too big-headed about it, but you should believe in yourself.
Were you always confident? When you were a young child, were you confident? Were you extrovert the way you are now?
So here's actually a funny story. When I was 16 years old, I was in fourth year in college. The principal asked me to give a speech at Christmas time, at Christmas assembly. And it was meant to be about like Bethlehem and Jesus and like whatever you have. And so I wrote out a fake speech all about the good stuff. I handed it to my principal, and he was like, Robert, this is fantastic. We're really proud of you now, because I was a big messer in school. They're like, this is really your time to turn a new leaf. And when I got up on stage, I whipped out the real speech, and it was all about getting a new Xbox for Christmas, drinking pints with the lads, all that good stuff.
This is what Christmas meant to you, really.
There's a video of it online. I don't know how it was even recorded, because phone cameras weren't even invented back then.
Please tell me somebody videoed the principal's face when you were reading this.
Here's the next part of the story. Okay, so I don't know what it was recorded on, but the whole school was in bits laughing. I was so close to getting suspended. The principal was fuming. He said the only reason he didn't suspend me because all the other teachers were laughing too.
Which is encouragement.
There you go. So there, I was like, look, Mr. So-and-so, he finds it funny.
You went to Clongowes boarding school. Did you like it?
I loved it.
Were you homesick at all?
So I actually went to Clush and Arena, Ring in Waterford.
Oh yes,
for sixth class the year before that, and I was really homesick there. Like that was my first time ever like being in boarding
All
school.
las Gaeilge.
All las Gaeilge, yeah, I'm pretty good
So
at
you taught the
Irish.
Gaeilge go híontóch?
Oh, to make Irish Gaeilge.
Oh, we'll leave it at that now. Mine isn't.
I'm like, please don't go further than that. To make Irish Gaeilge, that's all I got. But so I went to Ring, and I was homesick there. I remember one night I was like crying all night, so I was homesick here and there. But then I loved Ring as well.
Yeah.
But then after that, I was like, Clongo's a breeze.
So, and all the sport there as well, of course. And rugby, you played rugby, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's what first got me into fitness was rugby.
Yeah,
That's what first got me, running around and training. I didn't pick up a weight till I was about 16, but I played rugby since I was like 12 and 13, and that's the first athletic thing I did.
I want to know how would you define cutting and shredding?
Yeah.
'Cause you say that a lot.
Yeah.
On your videos. What are they?
They're both just slang terms for dieting. Pretty much.
Okay.
So like, shred, when you see all your veins, like you look shredded. And when you're cut up, it's like, you could, a paper cut and you're gone. You're dead.
Okay. I see.
So it's just like, cut down. It's like cut fat off.
Okay.
Or shred fat off.
Okay.
So it's just like slang terms.
You have a book, The Game Plan. I presume it's doing really well.
Yeah. I remember in January there, someone sent me like a screenshot. I couldn't even believe it. You go into easons.com, you go, arrange books in order of best-selling.
Yes, yeah.
Number one was it there at the top. That was another shocking moment. That's been a highlight of the year so far. But like, it's so crazy because I was the worst in the year academically at school, like very bottom 3 anyways. I remember I didn't pass a maths test for 3 years. Literally like 4th, 5th and 6th year.
And you're very, very good at figures now.
And it's so funny. That just goes to show you how you can be good at what you're into. Yeah. Nowadays, I'll count calories, protein, carbs, fats, I'll multiply macros and everything, but give me some algebra, some Pythagoras theorem, and I don't know what's going on.
Oh, I don't know. I think you should go back to school and teach them the real story and how to get on in life, because, it's the practical things actually that we do need to learn in school.
Yeah.
And that quite often we're not being taught. But what I also found on looking at your videos and hearing you and reading articles about you, Rob, you were very honest about the streams of income. And a lot of influencers are kind of coy about talking about how much they're earning and all of that sort of thing. Let's go back to the 100,000 a year.
Yep.
What were those streams of income? How did you monetize?
Yeah, so I put them all out in the video. It was online coaching, ebooks, sponsorships, public speaking. They were the 4, and then later on it went. I have an app, book, events agency. So that's 7 now. But so before that, it was just the first 4 I mentioned.
So you're on another level now altogether.
And YouTube ad revenue, sorry.
And YouTube as well, of course. Because they'll approach you after a certain point, won't they? If you have so many followers.
If you get a certain amount of views, and you apply, you just fill out your bank details, and then they pay you on view. So like, obviously that's, fluctuates up and down, but if your subscribers are going up, your views are going up, so it'll go up over the years,
Because you've talked about people that have huge following, but they don't monetize, they don't have a business head. So let's take a hypothetical person, a Joe Blogs, who has, say, 100,000 followers on Instagram, 100,000 on YouTube. How can he and how should he, if you were advising him, how should he monetize that level of following? Okay,
so let's actually say, because it's easy for me to talk about how to monetize a fitness following. I just did. You can promote your gym, promote your personal training services, sell ebooks, do online coaching, anything and everything. So let's say something different as an example. Let's say you're a makeup artist, okay?
Right.
I know some girls that are, makeup artists. They've got such a huge audience. They post the makeup that they do on other girls, and they're just booked up constantly. And not only when you're booked up constantly, what can you do? Raise your prices. So there's another example, makeup artists.
Sure.
It's like anything, whatever your craft is, if you build an audience, if you put out beneficial content, give people a reason to follow you, well, then you can monetize that.
We know from doing some media training and presentations, because we had a girl come to us who did some makeup online, and then she put up that she was going to be doing a course in a hotel, and she was sold out in minutes.
Yep.
So she came to us and said, I need to present a show now. Okay, so let's do this. And it was amazing. I mean, and she's doing very, very well. It is quite amazing, actually, that you're somebody, you're so well known now. It's like your own reality TV show in a way, isn't it? There was a time where if you wanted to be a TV presenter, you had to wait for somebody to leave the job or be fired, and then you'd audition for it. But you can create your own environment, your own network, and it is amazing, and everybody gets to know you. More so than somebody stuck on a television program on one of the channels that we have here currently in Ireland, you know.
Yeah, what I say is it's called a YouTube channel. You know, like it's not called a YouTube page, it's called a YouTube channel. So it's like you're the writer, you're the director, you know, you produce it, so you get all the benefits. So, you know, it's brilliant. And I think like now social media is just powerful. Like it's powerful. Like if you've got it, that's probably what I am most proud of, my YouTube channel. You know, because that's the hardest to build. Like I can post on Instagram every day, you know, easy, post a picture, boom. But actually creating a video, like that takes hours to record and then hours to edit. And you got to like think of a beginning, middle, of end. You know, it's hard to create content. So building up a YouTube channel with over 420,000 people subscribe to it, I'm like, and that's not even one of the biggest channels. Like I think the biggest channel is like up on 100 million. It's like PewDiePie or something. Yeah, you know, like this is small. My channel's small in the grand scheme of things, but it's still so huge. Hard to do.
It's huge. Yeah. It is, because, and as you say, you know, on Facebook and Instagram, you know, you can get followers that way. So you create. So the trick is then for YouTube is to create great content first of all.
Yeah.
How do you get traction then? How do you get everybody looking at this?
So the environment marketing, okay, you got to create something that makes people want to click on it. Okay, so some of my most viewed videos are like, you know, outrageous stuff, like 20,000 calorie challenge when I eat 20,000 calories in a day. And so that's how, you know, you do that viral stuff to get people in, but then you show them your personality, you give them free advice, you motivate them, you entertain them, you inspire them, you give them a reason to stay. So there's a bit of an art to it. You do the viral stuff to get people's attention, and then you give that genuine, beneficial content that keeps people, you know.
Somebody once said about you, I came for the abs, but I stayed for the attitude.
There you go, yeah.
And they fell down that rabbit hole, as we all do, as I have as well. What I thought was one of the most endearing of your videos was when you went to Galway University, you were talking to business students, sweet irony. There you are, talking to these guys about business, how to create a business, how you created your own. And but what was lovely was you are very authentic, but you were so nice to them, you were encouraging, you were self-deprecating, and you really were zoning in on helping them and advising them. You could hear a pin drop. Are those the kind of motivational talks that you like doing most of all?
They are my favourite talks. So what was the last one I did was down in UCC in Cork. I just love it because I love speaking to students, because that's where my journey began. You know, and like I know I didn't finish college, but it wasn't for me. And people think like I'm anti-college. I'm not. I just like think you should, you know, do a course you like. I think anyone will tell you that.
Do what you love.
Do what you love, and you'll never work a day in your life.
Absolutely.
But so when I'm speaking to these college students, you know, they're just at that prime time, ready to kill it in life. Yeah. You know, it's like they've got so much ahead of them, so much energy. So and they're always so curious. We have good fun. Like they slag me off on stage. I'm like, security.
You love all that.
I love it. Yeah, I'm like, security. Remove him from the room. You know, I love it. Like,
I wouldn't be slagging you with the muscles on you. Seriously.
I couldn't knock snow off a rope. It's all show. It's nothing. Yeah. It's like you stick a pin in these, they deflate.
You know, when you go to the Maldives and all these places that you now are enjoying, but I take it from you that it's work all the time as well. You know, there's somewhat of you know, a business and pleasure. And you become very deeply tanned. Are you wearing loads of sun cream?
Yes, yeah, that's actually how you get a good tan, because if you don't wear sunscreen, you just burn. You know, and you just go lobster red. So yeah, I wear loads of sunscreen. I'm actually wearing sunscreen now because I use it as moisturizer. Yeah, that's what I moisturize with.
But I mean, skin cancer is one of the greatest cancers, biggest cancers in this country.
Exactly, you know. So yeah, no, I always wear factor.
But when you're in the place like the Maldives, is there an orderly queue of people wanting to rub the sun cream into you?
You get your own personalised butler. You actually do.
Do they do that?
They actually give you per villa, per room, you get a personalised butler. I'm just just like, I'm like, I just want to be your friend, bro. I'm just like, he was like, anything you want, I'm at your service. I'm like, dude, we're fine, like, chill. Like, I'd hate to be one of those people like, get me this, get me that.
I can put on my own sun cream.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, dude.
How long were you in the gym today, by the way?
I actually had to cut it a little bit short because I had some things to do and get ready. That's why I was also a little bit late. But usually my workouts are like an hour.
An hour?
An hour, yeah.
And is it every day?
5-6 days a week.
And do you focus on different parts of the body per day?
Yeah, so the split that I do that I like the most is legs, push, pull, legs, push, pull, rest.
Yeah.
So, legs is obviously legs and abs.
Yeah.
Push is all your pushing muscles, so chest, shoulders, and triceps. And then pull is all your pulling muscles, so back, traps, and biceps. So that's how I like to split it up. But there's so many different splits that you can follow. Like you can do upper, lower. You can maybe do full body 3 days a week if you're tough on time. So there's really no like best workout split. There's a lot of ways to do it.
You're really pushing yourself. Every time I see you online, every time I see your videos, I mean, is it actually painful? Is it sore? What you're doing?
I don't know. It's like, I love it. Like there's sometimes I'll get on a machine or a certain exercise that's just a really good groove and I'm like, oh, that feels amazing. Like what feels bad is like when you sit down for hours or you're on a flight, you're like, I just want to move.
Yes.
So that's how I look at it. I'm like, this is the opposite of me getting all sore. Like I feel sore when I don't move.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I'm like,
this
is the opposite of that. So, I love it. Like, you can feel your body, feel live.
Is your book game plan and generally your advice and your online material, it's mainly geared towards younger people, isn't it? People under 30. Is there anything you could do for me?
There is plenty. So there's even like, developing good
I've been
habits.
holding my stomach in for the last half hour, by the way.
You look amazing. You are so glam.
Keep going.
I need some style advice. I need some glitter on this. This is dull, like. Yeah.
You don't need glitter. I do. But seriously, somebody, I won't give my age away.
Yeah.
56.
Nice.
What do you think?
46.
What do you think?
Absolutely. Like, there's really like all the guidelines are just solid guidelines. Like to lose fat, you need to be in a caloric deficit. That applies whether you're 20 or whether you're 40.
Yes.
Like that's fundamental. That is science. That is law of physics, right? Law of thermodynamics. Okay, like you need to be in a caloric deficit to burn body fat.
It's like 80% diet, isn't it?
See, you can't put like an exact percentage on it. Really, it should be like you give 100% to your diet and 100% to your training.
Okay.
Because let's say you want to build muscle, you can eat all the food in the world. You can eat all the protein, you get in your vitamins, minerals, really good diet. If you don't lift weights, you're giving your body, or don't do any resistance training, you're giving your body no reason to grow. Why would it change? It's like, if you think you can build muscle without going to the gym, you'd have massive muscly legs from walking around all day. Or you'd have huge arms from lifting a pencil and writing.
Right.
So you can have the best diet, but without training, nothing happens. Same the other way. These people that you can't out-train a bad diet. Like you can spend all the time in the gym, but if you're eating terrible outside, nothing's going to happen. So it's like you got to give 100% to both.
100% to both.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to think about that strongly after seeing you today. I just wanted to ask you, I mean, it would be very stupid to presume that anyone who looks fabulous, who's working out all the time, who's young, enthusiastic, creating all of those endorphins when they do work out, it would be foolish to assume that they don't have bad days. And I don't want to talk specifically about the very tragic guy who was on Love Island, who passed away in very tragic circumstances recently. He was on it a couple of years ago. But it seems most unusual. It seems hard to believe and to kind of take in that somebody who has everything, has the looks, has the charm, has that, the huge potential in life, who's working out all the time, who's creating the endorphins.
Yeah.
How can their life be so bad?
Yeah, it's so, just as a disclaimer, I don't like going too in on mental health because it's such a touchy subject and I'm not a professional. And so it's also quite frustrating because it's a topic that I feel strongly about. It's so important. important. Like, it's so important. And so I want to talk about it, but anytime I do, you get so many people saying, how dare you talk about it? You're a personal trainer, not a psychologist. And then the other half will be like, great, you should really make this more normal to talk about. So it's so hard for me to even speak about. You get so much.
I understand that. But I think just looking at it generally, like, somebody who's, you are a fitness guru, and you're somebody that people look up to hugely. But having a very tough, resilient body doesn't always mean you have a resilient mind.
No, and your mind's the most important thing. It's literally, that's where everything comes from. That's what's going to make you go to the gym.
Yes.
Your mind is everything. Your mind's the most important muscle, if you want to call it that. Yes. It's crazy, and that is one thing I do like to talk about a lot. Mindset. There's a whole book on. There's a whole
because everything else can follow on, can't it? Once you have a strong mind, you can do everything. Your whole world changes when you have a strong mind, doesn't it?
The first part of the book is on mindset for a reason. Number one. So that's it. That's what's going to be your motivation to not only get to the gym and change your health and your physique and everything, but your diet and everything. It's just everything comes from in here. So it's so crazy. And we do need to train our thoughts, and we do need to take some time every day to work on the most important muscle. So that's what I try to do. I do try have a deep think from time to time.
And to get rid of any negative thoughts and negative words. I don't say I can't do this. I can do this. I will do this. I do see myself walking across that stage. I do see myself getting these. I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to have 100,000 followers on Instagram by the end of the year. Frank? Okay, are you Frankie?
Writing it down. But no, it is very important. And after a while, it actually becomes easier. So now my default is, if I look at that glass, I'll say it's half full.
Yes.
It's not half empty. Like, it's my default. And some people's default will be like, it's half empty. You just got to change your default. So it's like you're training yourself, constantly feeding yourself these positive emotions. And then just over time, that's going to be your default. Your default is going to be optimistic. It's going to be positive, and that's where you want to be.
It's like laughing at the negative comments. It's a great attitude.
Exactly. It's like, two people can get the same comment, but they can interpret them completely different. Totally. One person can laugh at them and be like, whatever, I'm just going to keep going on my day. And the other person can let it ruin their day. It's the same comment. It's the same thing. So it's all about how you perceive it. And that's life. It's how you perceive anything, Like you set a goal and it fails. You can say, hey, this is a good lesson learned. I relearned something from that. And the other person would say, I'm just going to give up completely. So it's all about how you react, and it's all about perception.
And not being afraid as well. Not being afraid of trying something. And learning. And life is all about learning. And we're here to learn. We're here to try and succeed as well. But we're here to learn. And most people that have had huge success in life have failed many times. So you actually are very different. You've been successful at a very young age. Now, you're mad into technology. Before we get into technology, I want to just go a little trip back to Love Island. I was thrilled that you kept your dignity, your modesty. Very important.
Yep.
And are you from a good Catholic family?
Of course, Catholic school as well, morning prayers every day.
The principal would be heartbroken if you hadn't.
Never mind that speech.
Kept your modesty, yes. And is it true that they wanted you to give out and kind of bitch about the other contestants, and you said no? Yeah,
for sure. So they bring you into that small room. By the way, Love Island's actually a great show. All the staff are amazing, and even the cast that is on are lovely people, and it's great fun in there. But it is a drama show. Like, it's entertainment.
Absolutely.
So and that's fair enough. And so they'll want you to, like, hey, this person said this about you. What do you think? And it's like, they can say horrible thing, and I'll be like, they seem all right to me. I just don't.
Bring it on.
I'm like, you know what? Maybe they're right. So I just don't like. That's not my personality.
It's not
I'm not
your
bitchy.
thing at all.
I don't speak with bad intention. I'd never put people down. That is like, it's embarrassing. Like, are you ever in a conversation with someone and you hear, like, you're in a group conversation and you hear someone and they're like bitching about someone, they're speaking down on someone, and you're just like, ew. You're just like, that's embarrassing. Like, stop. You know, like how much cooler is it to say something nice about someone?
Say something pleasant, or if you've nothing good to say nothing is something my mother used to say to me all the time.
So yeah, when I was on Love Island,
Yeah.
they tried to create a little bit of drama, but I just didn't buy to it because that's just not what I'm like.
Yeah. But once you left, is there a memory that you will have forever from that experience?
From being on Love Island, it just the general. So okay, right. Just before that trip, they literally called me like 3 days beforehand to go on. Like, because I was just an extra thrown into the mix. And I was in Ibiza at the time, okay? Like, you know, partying it up.
Another Love Island.
Yeah, I was like, this is Love Island without the cameras. But I did put it on YouTube, so it kind of was. It was Rob Island. But so I was in Ibiza at the time, and they're like, hey, Rob, would you like to go in on an extra as Love Island? And I was like, is this a real email? And then they called me and I was like, is this a prank phone call? Turned out to be legit. And so I went in, I flew home to Dublin. Within 12 hours, I was flying back out. And I remember like still being hungover, walking onto the set, just like, is this real life? I'm like, am I still asleep? Like, I was like, this is just surreal. So
it
was
was.
crazy.
I mean, you know, somebody mentioned to me that this was on, and I can't remember what channel it was on. Was it ITV?
ITV, yeah.
And I started looking at it, and I kind of got drawn in. Watched it the next night, and I think I watched it the next night. But it's these crazy, beautiful people. And just ridiculous levels of beauty.
Yeah.
And it all did get kind of nasty and stuff. And you probably did you know a lot about it? Like, did you know what these people are getting up to?
No, like, so I was in Ibiza at the time. I'm not sitting in watching reality TV when I'm in Ibiza. And so they're like, do you know the cast? You know, have you been keeping up with it? And I'm like, yeah, I love Montana. She's great. So I didn't have a clue about it when I went on. So I was just thrown in there and like just winged it. That's like so my life. I'm like, I'll launch myself into something and figure it out as I go along.
For somebody who's so into technology and cutting edge technology, you know, you've vlogged and blogged and Instagrammed, and you used YouTube to extraordinary lengths. You're very traditional in some other ways. For instance, you like writing manually into a journal every day.
Yeah.
So why is that important to you?
I think there's just, we're so head in the phone, head on the screen. We're just so technologically based nowadays. That's fine. That's the way life is. So I think it's cool to just wind it back and just, you know, go old school and make it physical. Because when you put it on a screen or something, like, it's virtual. But when you write it down, this could be me, like, talking voodoo crap, you know. When you write it down, I believe you put it out there, it's a physical thing, and it's more likely to happen. Like, I swear to God, so, you know, there's dates for the whole year. I'd flick well into the year and I'd be like, I want this to happen on this day. And I'd write it down so far in advance that I forget it would happen. And then I would flick over, it would finally be that day, and what I've written down has actually happened on that day. Like, it's just crazy. And like, I don't know what it is, because like, I just don't know.
So it's like another kind of form of that positive affirmation that you were talking about earlier.
Completely. It's like another form of visualization.
Wow,
and it's like, I don't know, maybe it's because you write it down and it's subconsciously in the back of your head that it's there, but either way, it happens, you know. And sometimes it happens even before, you know, so it's crazy.
And do you log everything that happened that day?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got because we all become forgetful in time. It's wonderful to have something that you can look back on in a few years' time and see, God, I did that then, and do you remember that? And it's a regret of mine that I never, although maybe I don't want to see what I did. maybe I would.
I don't write down the Saturday nights. I'll obviously write important things, you know, far in advance, but I'll also write before I go to bed every night. I'll say, all right, Rob, how would your ideal day go tomorrow? Just write out your ideal day, you know? And it's like, that's what I say to people. They're like, how do you set goals? How do you plan out, you know, work the planner? And I'm like, just within reason, how would your ideal day go tomorrow?
Gosh.
I wake up at this time, I hit the gym, you know, I keep a food diary, or I eat 3 square meals a day. I call this person that I don't want to call, but I know I have to call. I send this email, I finish this project. You don't write down, I win the lotto. It's like, come on, man, be reasonable. But just write down how your ideal day would go. And funny enough, you write it down and it's in front of you, it's much more likely to happen.
So today is Saturday. You will write down today what you want to happen tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, and tomorrow is Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So how are you going to spend the day?
So I'll see how this day goes, because I write it down. It's the last thing I do before bed.
Yeah.
So, you know, depending on what happens the day before, I'll be like, oh, I need to finish this tomorrow. So it's just that final hour before I go to bed. And I also write down what I'm grateful for that happened that day. And then that helps me sleep at night. You know, no matter what happened, what crap you went through during the day, you go, well, you know what? I'm grateful for this, this and that. I was just going to sleep a bit better now.
I think that's a very common thread for a lot of very successful people. They may pray about it, they may think about it or they write it down, what they're grateful for.
Yeah.
And it really grounds you and it makes you appreciative. No matter how your day has gone, there's always some good things that are happening in your life. You know?
Exactly. I honestly think it's impossible to be unhappy if you're grateful.
Yes.
Like, how can you be unhappy if you're grateful, you know? And so gratuity, learning that, and like just being grateful for even the small things. Like, it's easy to be grateful for the big things, you know, like, oh, you know, bought a new car, amazing. But it's harder to be grateful for things you don't even know. It's like, yo, I got food in my fridge. I got electricity. I got Wi-Fi. So much of the world doesn't have Wi-Fi. Yeah. You know, I've got a warm bed. I've got a shelter over my head. You know, it's so much stuff we take for granted. And once you wind it back a little bit, you start thinking of all these things you take for granted. You start being grateful for them. Your mood is going to improve a lot.
Your message is hugely positive, and this comes across throughout all of your posts and all your videos and everything else. But I don't think it applies only to people that want to grow their social media. I don't think it only applies to people who want to be fitness gurus and who want to emulate you. I think this is cutting across into all sorts of businesses. In fact, I would go so far as to say that it's probably quite philosophical and pertaining to people and how they should live their lives. So what would you say would be your core message, and where did that come from?
That's a tough question, but I really like what you said about philosophical. I'm a philosopher now. Add that to the bio.
I will add that to all the other things.
Yeah, add that in there. But you know, I do think it's important to have a deep think about what is the meaning of life.
I mean, I'm learning so much from you and your work and your dedication, your determination, and the way you approach your business. It's affecting me. I've got takeaways.
Thank you so much.
From this.
So like that means the world to me. So that even just hearing that's given me a great sense of fulfillment.
You can borrow this anytime.
Yeah, tonight maybe, Saturday. But so what is my core message?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm almost sick of saying it, and it's so cliche, but it's like, find your passion, right?
Yeah.
It's like, life, this is the youngest you'll ever be today. You'll never get this day back. What's more valuable than money? Time is, okay? So it's like, once you find what you're destined to do, not only you're going to have a great time, everyone around you is going to have a good time. It's like, you're going to be a pleasure to be around.
Yes.
You're not going to be a burden on anyone.
Yeah.
So, if everyone just really found out what they love and what really gives them fulfillment. So, for example, your comment just there, that gives me incredible fulfillment. If everyone just found that, well, then the world would be a better place.
And it's a ripple effect. You affect everything.
There you go. Yeah. And one quick thing as well. A lot of people think, oh, I'm not a celebrity. I'm not a rock star. I'm not, the president. I'm not world famous. What I do doesn't make a difference. The ripple effect is like, let's say you're a waiter in a cafe. If you give someone really good service, they're going to have a good day.
Absolutely.
They're going to be in a better mood, and that's going to ripple onto their colleagues and everything. So it doesn't matter what you're doing.
If you're a waiter in a place like that, and if you do a great job, the ripple effect is not only do you make me happy or you happy or whoever's being served by this waiter, but you tend to go up to the manager and say, this guy did a brilliant job.
Yeah.
You should reward him.
Yeah.
You should make him head waiter.
And then he becomes the manager.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So people think like, oh, I'm not the president, not a rock star or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, what I do doesn't matter. And it's like, trust me, it does. It really does.
You're 27 now?
Yeah, I turned 27 in
Okay,
January.
and the technology and the advances just in the last couple of years, 2016 up to today, so many changes in social media, so many advances, never mind the last 3 years, last 6 months, You know, and you've spoken about these changes and how amazing they are. So it is a cliche to ask, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? But I want you to tell me where you see yourself in 5 years' time, and what sort of technology do you think would be in place that would further your brand?
Absolutely. So where do I see myself? Right now, I'm like investing in little different things. I'm breaking into different markets. So, you know, getting more into the social media agency side of things, events, you know, obviously fitness as well, you know, food. I don't want to give away too much, but right now I'm like investing in different things and setting myself up for the future, you know, using my money wisely, you know, and not just like blowing it all on stupid things that's going to give me no return. So hopefully retired in 5 years. But so, you know, I'm
retired at 32.
Yeah.
No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, oh no, I get too bored.
You'd get so bored.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just joking. But yeah, just little different investments here and there, and just keep doing what I'm doing. But on a larger scale.
Are those investments, you're still staying true to the core and staying to what you know and what you're...
Absolutely. So for example, you know, I'm 27. Let's look at probably the biggest names in fitness are like Steve Cook, for example. He's like 32, 33, you know, so there's no age limits on it, you know, and all the best public speakers that I follow, Gary Vaynerchuk, Tony Robbins, to name a few, Joe Rogan, he's 50. The biggest podcast in the world, your man's 51. You know?
That's Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, he's the most followed podcast in the world.
Joe Rogan is the reason I'm doing this podcast.
That is crazy.
Joe Rogan is because our sons, Frankie and Quincy, have been, apart from being followers of yours and interested in you, they are absolutely obsessive about Joe Rogan.
Yeah, me too.
And they're watching these podcasts, and it is the future of broadcasting.
Yep.
But he's brilliant. He's sitting there, there's no notes, in a studio, and sometimes it can get a little bit hairy, but most of the time it's just a gentle conversation, but such an intelligent man, and where he leads the discussion, where he goes with the discussion. It's so interesting. Again, it's a rabbit hole thing. You could look at this stuff for hours.
I do as well. I think he's so open-minded.
Who's the guy that he rows with sometimes, who's also on with Piers Morgan? He's a...
Is Alex Jones?
Crazy.
Alex Jones, I like him as well. And Eddie Bravo.
I like him
Joey
too.
Diaz is another good character.
Joey Diaz, yeah.
So there's like little characters in the Joe Rogan universe. Yeah. But so, you know, I'll be creating content. Like, why would I stop creating content 5 years from now on when I love it? Like, sitting down right now, this podcast, I'm loving it. We're having a great chat, okay? I love it. Am I going to stop in 5 years? No, I'm going to be doing more of it in 5 years, right? So I'm going to still be creating content, but I'm going to have a lot of other investments.
But I mean, as I say, the technology advances are just so rapid so quickly. In a year's time even, you could be doing something completely different on another medium that hasn't been invented yet.
Exactly. Like 5 years ago, I didn't even start YouTube. You know, vlogging wasn't as much of a thing as it is now. It of course existed, but it wasn't nearly anything what it's like now. Instagram was like hardly a thing either. Like there's going to be new apps, and it's great. And that's one thing. Don't get like attached to one app. It's like people are like, "Oh, Rob, what would you do if Instagram shut down tomorrow?" I'd be like, "Get on the next hot thing." You know?
There's always going to be something.
Keep rolling. You know, adapt, and whatever you're doing, give it 100%. So, you know, who knows what will happen in 5 years, but I'll be on it and I'll be doing my best.
The social media marketing agency,
yeah,
is that something that you have started now or that you're planning to?
I'm planning on, I usually don't like talking about future plans. I don't talk about things until they're done.
But you write them down.
I keep them to myself. Oh God, no one's reading that planner. No one's reading that planner. So, with that, where the idea came from, yet to like officialize this, confirm it, but we kind of spoke about this a little bit at the start about integrity and working with brands. So I've obviously worked with so many brands and agencies in Dublin and Ireland and the UK, and it's just like not real organic content. These people, like, you know, maybe they're a different generation that don't understand social media as much. They're giving you pre-written captions, and it's like, what they're giving you these, you have to post this, and I would say to this company, I know that's going to do terribly and generate less sales for you because I know my audience. I can post this and say this, and this will generate more sales than you. And these marketing agencies are so close-minded. They're like, no, it has to be done this way. They're too corporate, okay? And so I want to come along with an agency with someone that not only lives and breathes social media, but genuinely does it themselves.
These guys are being paid to come up with these captions. So
Exactly.
they're justifying their salary. But you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And you will alienate your own audience because they know damn well that you didn't say this. You didn't write this. You might say it, but it wasn't coming from you.
It's fake. People hate fake stuff. So a great example of social media marketing done right was the James Kavanagh Tato thing.
It's
That's
brilliant.
hilarious.
It's brilliant.
Everyone was commenting this is how sponsor posts should be natural and organic. So like companies that
This is Mr. Tato coming to his house, and James Kavanagh says, "Oh, it's my new housemate," and he's going around ironing and doing things, and he's hugging him at one stage because he's paid his rent for the year or something. So, but it's all kind of believable, and it's real.
It's
Mr.
funny
Tato
and
is
it's
real.
so open and honest. And so when I'm doing a sponsored video on YouTube,
Yes.
where you have to say this, but I do it anyways. I'm like, what's up, guys? So today's video is sponsored by so-and-so, and I'm like, really good company. You know, they reached out to me. You're just fully open and honest, and people respect that. And like, even if I'm doing a sponsored post on Instagram, I'm like, all right, so I'm working with this brand. People like that. You know, people love being open and honest, and they're actually more likely to buy the product compared to when you're being sneaky and you know, and you have this pre-written caption from some suit that doesn't follow your content. He's never watched one of your videos in his life. So it's just so.
But integrity is so important.
The integrity is so important. And right now, I don't think there's many agencies that really.
So
do
that's
that.
what you're hoping to do. Would you ever go into the jungle? I'm a Celebrity.
Yeah, sure. I think I'd be quite good in that. Like, I eat anything. I've no fears or phobias. Yeah.
You're made for it.
I think I will be good on it. Yeah.
Can you make approaches there?
Well, I don't know if I'm even a celebrity. Like, I'm not sure if I am.
I think so.
No, I would never like refer to
Listen,
myself.
some of them I've never heard of, but we've all heard about you.
Oh well,
the followers, the size of the population of Dublin. You know, we and you work with UK brands. It could happen.
It could, but I also don't like to call myself a celebrity, or I don't like to say that I've got fans, because I think it sounds stuck up, detached, weird. I'm like, ooh, my fans. You never find me saying that.
Okay.
People that watch my videos, supporters, subscribers.
And you're like that because you had 3 sisters that tied you to the chair and made you up and put you in a dress.
Very humbling.
So you learnt your place in life very early.
Exactly, you get humbled quick. And like, I think once you kind of lose that humility, things stop becoming fun.
Yes,
I'll go into, the villa in Australia or Maldives, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I can't believe this place. Imagine how, like, it would be no fun if I walked in there and I was like, oh, great, yeah, another villa.
Absolutely.
Like, where's the fun in that? So, like,
Absolutely.
when I get, like, another 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, when I put out a new video, I'm just like, yes! I'm just, like, still so excited about it.
Yeah.
And so I think if I ever start calling myself a celebrity or saying I have fans, that's when the fun's over and it becomes a lot less enjoyable. So, having some humility in what you do makes things better,
Did you watch I'm a Celebrity this year?
I don't actually watch much TV
Yeah,
at
you don't
all.
get time really for any of these.
No, I've got like this big TV, and it's like the biggest TV you can buy in the
And
shop.
you don't watch it.
And it's gathering dust. I don't watch it. It's just there for show. But like,
What do you do on a day off when you really want to just relax and chill? How do you spend that time?
I love cooking, home cooking. I love doing that. And then I love watching YouTube, funny enough. I'll watch like documentaries or talks and seminars or something that will benefit me. Because like, I'll like stick on Keeping Up with the Kardashians or whatever, who, by the way, are some of the best business people on the planet. I've mad respect for them.
Absolutely.
But when I watch that show afterwards, I'm like, I don't really get anything from that. Whereas if I watch a Joe Rogan podcast, I'm like, oh my God, I learned about mushrooms today. I'm like, I learned about different dimensions and ancient civilizations.
Oh, this stuff is all brilliant. And it's all on YouTube. It's absolutely
I'm so
brilliant.
interested in all that.
So interesting.
I like to watch stuff that when I'm finished watching it, I'll be like, got something there.
There's a woman called Dolores Cannon, I think, and I don't know if you've come across her. She has passed away in the meantime, but she was somebody that I think she was a hypnotherapist, and she used to bring people, regress them, and bring them back to their former lives. And so she's quite authoritative on the fact that we all have been here many times before, and we're here to learn. and to learn from our mistakes. And then the more we learn, the less likely it is that we come back again. But again, this is another thing. This is all YouTube.
This is like, I'm so into this. Like, whether it's true or not, it's fun to think about. Here's another brilliant one. It was on a podcast on Joe Rogan, and he had someone talking about ancient civilization, and he was like, the modern day world could have happened 6 times already, but we don't know because something like a nuclear war or something breaks out and erases history and puts everything back to zero.
Oh my
God. So we could have had cars and airplanes over and over again, but civilization gets so advanced and technology destroys us and resets the world, and we start out again from zero.
It's just
a fun.
I have to look at that.
Yeah, it's like, I probably butchered that. I probably completely misinterpreted that, but it's fun to think of, you know, like it's crazy.
You're a very humble guy and a very positive guy, and it's absolutely sticking out a mile that you genuinely do not think of yourself as a celebrity at all.
Thank you.
But I want to ask you, how do you distinguish, Rob, between the people that like Rob Lipsett, the internet sensation, the self-made businessman, and the real Rob Lipsett, who's the person beneath the persona?
Yeah, so I'll always know if someone's like genuinely part of the LF army if they'll like say a little private joke that I have on my channel, like poverty soda, or like, you know, Aldi gains, or if someone talks about like the tuna and egg whites that I made in my last video. When someone just, you know, you can just tell when there's a genuine comment of someone who's actually watch your content, or even someone saying like, hey, watch your Galway talk, watch your UCC talk, loved it.
Yes,
you know, you can tell when someone's actually, you know, appreciates what you do.
Yeah, but in real life, that's online.
Oh yeah.
When you meet people in real life, how do you actually know when people like you for you?
Exactly, yeah. So I've been quite good at spotting like fake people.
Okay.
You'll always like, they'll jump the gun so quick. They'll like be like, hey, how are you? How's it going? So I've got this business idea. And I'm like, really, dude? Like, I'm like, I've known you, what, 2 minutes? You're already looking for an investment?
Sounds like 10 seconds.
Yeah, oh, yeah, seriously. So, yeah, you can tell pretty quickly.
And is it a case that you know, the friends that you had before you took off, Rob, that they're still close to you and that you're, you know?
Absolutely. So my Clongowes friends, my school friends, they're still very dear to my heart. We still talk every day. We still go on like weekends away with each other, and we all do such different things. But like when we all come back together, be it around Christmas or just an organized weekend, it's like we never left, and we're all like friends for life. So you've got just those old school friends that, you know, you just know they're the real ones.
Tell me, finally, one thing about yourself that we would never find on Google.
Fine, I want to keep going. Finally.
Actually, I have a habit of saying finally, and then 10 minutes later, I'm finally. So we may well be here for sleepovers.
It's
getting dark.
It's nice and comfy. I'll just slide in here. But okay, one thing. See, I was having a think there, and it's like, what is one thing that people don't know? And it's so hard because I put my whole life online, like even my bloody relationship status goes online, like everything, you know. So I'm like, something that I don't often talk about, and I put up a story about it, and it got a big reaction. Was the question, you know, what do you not post about that you're into? And stuff like the universe, ancient civilization, politics, religion, philosophy, all that juicy stuff.
Yes.
You know, psychology. God, I watch psychology lectures for hours. Again, that's something that benefits me, because if you learn about psychology, you learn how to treat people, you learn how to work a crowd. It's hugely beneficial.
Huge.
So there's a lot of stuff that don't have anything to do with fitness or travel, like what I just mentioned there.
And psychology would be very good for marketing as well. You know,
that's what marketing is.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me something else now that we won't find on Google. Something.
Okay, let me think.
Because you've already discussed the ancient civilizations and parallel universes. And
so it would be like stuff like, I'm actually really interested in politics and would love to go into politics.
Would you?
I actually would, but people will hear me say that and they'll be like, Rob Lipsett in politics, the country's gone to hell. But I think
if you have the population of Dublin following you, I'm sure you could get elected. And would you have a party in mind, or would you go independent?
I'd like to go independent, I think. But it's crazy. Like, imagine I end up the president of Ireland.
Rob, I can see it now.
Yeah.
I can see it now.
I would love that.
I mean, seriously, and we can start the campaign here.
There we go. Today's the day. But like,
Rob for president.
For real though, Leo, I'm such a patriot. Like, Ireland is my favourite country in the world.
You have to wait till you're 30, though.
35.
I don't agree with. Oh, it's 35.
Yeah.
I don't agree
I've
with
looked
that.
into this.
I voted. You really have. You've done your research.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that, and I voted against that when we had that option, because there are amazing people at 28, 29, 27 who could really make an impact.
Yeah.
So you really would be interested in politics.
Yeah, and that's something I never talk about online, because politics is such a touchy subject.
What do you think of the state of the country at the moment? State of the nation?
We won't even get into that on this podcast.
That's going to be another 2 hours.
That's another 2 hours. But no, I do, like, I'm a huge patriot. Like, I travel the world. I go to some of the quote-unquote best places in the world, but I'm like, this is the best place right here. There's a reason I always love coming home, and there's a reason I live here. You know, I can live wherever there's Wi-Fi, but I love Ireland, I love Dublin, and I'm
And there's something very special about Ireland, and Dublin in particular. This is where we are at the moment, on a sunny day, which we've had for the last couple of days. It's not looking great out there at the moment, but it has been beautiful. Yeah,
we appreciate it so much more than anyone else.
Did you act when you were in school?
I did.
Because you're such a performer.
Yeah.
So what plays, or were they musicals, or what were you in?
Yeah, so actually, to add to the last question about stuff that I don't talk about online, something I would like to go into, I'd love to go into acting as well. Yes. That's another thing.
I mean, that's sticking out a mile.
Arnold Schwarzenegger,
saying. The Rock.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And like, so it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Governor of California, biggest action movie star of all time. You know, that's someone who I look up usually to. But so acting, that's like, I'm on camera every single day.
And you're performing on camera, and you're authentic, and you're charismatic, and this is The Rock as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's an extraordinary actor.
Oh, he's just an amazing guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like the man.
And a decent guy.
Yeah,
very kind to everybody that works with him, and buying them cars and doing all sorts of things.
I actually like know people who would like work with The Rock. Maybe they do a video with him a day and be a photographer. Everyone says he is just a great guy. He's just legit.
That's another.
So there's another thing. Acting
in 5 years' time. Less maybe.
Yeah. Put that on the list.
Especially
right in my planner.
Especially if you were acting. That's much better than politics. Especially if you were acting in Clongowes. And so what kind of roles were you doing?
So it was like they had a drama class that you could just sign up to, and you do it after study. And it was brilliant. It was called Lambda, London Arts, Music and Dance Academy. That was it. And you just do improv, you do exercises, thinking up plays on the spot, getting into character roles. Brilliant. And I loved it.
Actually, that's very important for professional drama and professional acting, because for a lot of films, for instance, they want you to improvise, and sometimes you don't get a script. You're given a theme. We talked to Ricky Tomlinson here a few weeks ago, and some of his best roles where he was just told, Ricky, here's the situation, now we want you to react. So it's really important.
So glad you brought that up. When I'm doing like my events or my seminars, Galway Talk, College Talks, DCU, UCD, whatever it is, or even like Microsoft, whatever talk, I've done just so many talks, and I've pretty much prepared for none of them.
Really? Are you one of these annoying people that you just walk out and you just speak and it's all there? You don't have to labour over a script.
Exactly. I honestly, so I've tried like scripting out my talks, and they're worse talks, because they're less natural and they're less real. Because I'm thinking of like these points that I have to hit, but I'm like, instead of that, screw that, just go on, talk about whatever topic you're talking about and just speak from the heart. Don't even think about it.
And you know what's brilliant about that? When you do that, when you have it and it's coming from here, you're also engaging with the people that are in the room. You're looking at them, and you might see somebody that you remember from before, and you could comment on that. You're responding to what's going on around you. So Mary Mackley used to do this when she was president a number of years ago. Ratoath, she came to open a theatre there. I introduced her, and she stood up. She had a card. There was one word on it. I can't remember what the word was, but that's all it was. And she looked, speak now, but us too. But she looked at this, the crowd that were there, and she said, and there's Michael who used to bring me the milk, and Bernie, and blah, blah, blah. And she wove this amazing speech into what was going on around her at the time.
Yeah.
So it is a great way. It's a rare gift, actually.
Yeah, it's like
great
how
that you
to
can do
work
that.
a crowd.
Yeah.
And so I think it was Jordan Belfort, who's a great public speaker, The Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah. That's one of my favorite movies, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So he said, actually, it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. So
Absolutely.
if you're up on stage, you can be talking about whatever you like. And if you're so into it, you're giving it everything, everyone's just going to be like, listening. And it's like, if you're not into what you're saying, if you're just reading off a script, if you're not into it, they're not going to be into it. So it's like common sense. There's a course. So whenever you get up on stage, public speaking, you just got to be fully invested into what you're saying and fully believe in yourself.
Yes.
Because if you don't believe in yourself, why would anyone else?
It's how you say it.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. You quoted the guy from Wolf of Wall Street, and he was probably thinking of, or whoever wrote the script was thinking of, a lawyer and rhetorician called Quintilian. You're interested in all of these classical times.
Yeah.
And Quintilian said, a speech that is delivered, a mediocre speech that is delivered with great power and intensity is far better than a wonderfully written speech that's delivered with half the power. So it's not what you say sometimes, it's how you say it. And
exactly.
It's the passion that you bring across.
Yeah.
Listen, you've brought across so much passion today. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I'm so inspired. I'm going to lose 3 stone to start with. I'm going to write a journal. I'm going to visualize. And I think a lot of people looking at this video today and listening to you will do the same. They've already been doing it in their droves. Can't thank you enough for coming in today.
I can't thank you enough for having me on. Like, even the room, the atmosphere, the professionalism of the whole podcast, and even just chatting to you. You're an amazing interview, and you're a lovely person. So seriously, put it there. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.